All righty. Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone had a good Tuesday. Hey, got my mentee on here. Good evening and welcome to Triskelion Tuesday Talks. Thank you all for joining us this evening. So we have a great, juicy topic tonight, and we'll center around one question. Polly, can you feel secure without being the only one? And Polly Diaz dynamics conversations surrounding security, jealousy, trust, reassurance, comparison, and emotional safety often surface. For some, security feels natural. For others, it feels fragile. And for many, the challenge isn't whether they love their partner, is whether they can maintain a sense of security while sharing time, attention, connection, and if it feels natural. Tonight, we're going to have an open, honest conversation about what security really looks like in a poly DS dynamic, what strengthens it, what threatens it, and how healthy poly DS dynamics navigate through those challenges. Before we begin, this is an educational discussion. It is definitely not therapy, diagnosis, or replacement for professional counseling. Some things may resonate deeply. Some things may challenge your perspective. Both are okay. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Remain open to learning, of course, and most importantly, remain honest with yourself. So let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. I want to introduce tonight my newest co-host and our newest Black Triskelion House member, Miss Senga. Senga brings a unique perspective as a sex therapist practitioner, and someone who grew up in a polyamorous household, and someone who has herself navigated these poly DS dynamics. She brings both professional knowledge and lived experience to our conversation, so this is indeed a treat. I'm excited to have her alongside me as we continue to grow Triskelion Tuesday Talks. Please help me welcome my co-host and sister, Miss Senga.
Good evening, lovely ladies and possibility gentlemen.
Definitely. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So the purpose of the show tonight is going to be a mixture of course, a lovely case study. I might have a few or two for y'all, and we're going to have a lot more audience participation. So I'm going to go ahead and set it off and start this opening question. Singa, when people hear the words, when people hear the words poly and security together, what's the biggest misconception they have?
Ooh, I'm going to have to say with that, I'm going to jump straight into it. Unsafe sex, lack of relationship safety, lack of structure. That's on the negative side, but on the positive side, thorough communication of all parties, bringing love, honor, and respect to the relationship. And respect is a two-headed word. Most people don't know that. The first head of respect is acknowledgement. When you have acknowledgement as a level of respect, that means you have an insecurity within that family that needs to be addressed. And we all have it. We all have an insecurity until we have a conversation to build that trust. So you want to graduate from that insecurity of just acknowledgement to earning respect, of loving the family that you became a part of. Yeah.
Definitely. That is a perfect question. So we're going to go to the audience in just a little bit. So y'all hold y'all questions, drop them in the chat, and I'll go ahead and get to them. So let's go ahead and dive into question number 2. Can someone truly be emotionally secure and still experience jealousy? And if so, what does healthy jealousy actually look like?
Mm. Healthy jealousy. The word jealousy alone is not healthy,
No.
but it will graduate into a trust factor when all parties acknowledge the jealousy. It could be something as simple as of an eye or a sarcastic remark that's not welcome. That person feels a threat amongst the family, and the family need to be a unity and say, you know what? We need to have a conversation. If you're feeling that you're not receiving enough from us as a whole, then let's address that. Something that simple will help start to remove jealousy. It doesn't remove overnight, just like it didn't appear overnight. It started to grow. And with anything that grows, it takes time to heal from that type of, I call virus. Um, Now, I will say things that trigger jealousy is watching interaction with your family. One could assume someone is receiving more attention than the other. One may have more privileges than the other. And it takes that person that's feeling that jealousy, say, family, can I have a conversation? Because you can't be a mind reader. You can be a body reader, but not a mind reader. So those are the things that that person is feeling jealous or insecure. Need to be confident enough. If you joined this family, you trusted this family, you're loving on this family, you should open your mouth to the family.
Definitely, definitely. Let's see. Let me pop in the chat really quick and see. Let's see. We'll go ahead and answer a couple questions before we get to the next one. I don't want to get off topic too much. So Latricia said, "Is jealousy not just another emotion that should be handled the same as other uncomfortable emotions?"
That's a double-edged sword. Yes, it can be, but you have to make sure you address it with tactic and nurturing. You cannot be brass and aggressive about it. You have to take an account. Some family members don't even see the jealousy in that person. So you have every right to share your emotions and your feelings that built that type of virus of jealousy. Yes, but be tactful, be honest, and have a discussion with all parties first. And then once, I want to say, even with the individual, it's always best to do it with the family first and then have a sisterhood or a Dom conversation afterwards. Because everyone needs to know that that is definitely a part of you and everyone wants to have peace in the house. And that's a good way to start with peace.
Definitely. I agree. Let's see. Let's go ahead and go to, and with the beautiful queen, go ahead and take over the questions in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and go to the next question, and then we'll come back to the chat, queen. Thank you. So, question number 3, let's get into it. What do emotionally secured poly DS dynamics do differently?
Do differently?
Do differently.
Ooh. They avoid using the dom and the submissive as a title in the poly. Hear me clearly. Because a lot of poly relationships are not dom and submissive relationships. They are just a relationship. Now, that's incorporated. That's a bonus. But honestly, from my standpoint and my upbringing standpoint, that was only a bonus. The family, I had a father and two mothers in the eyes of a child. As I grew up, I realized my father's responsibility was to make sure my two mothers knew that they were both loved and respected equally, even though they were totally opposite. But family came first. Dom and submissive came in the middle. And I started to see what it looked like as I got older. But I have to say that title, especially if you're in a poly relationship and have children or planning to have children, you have to be very careful about that as well. Um, but I would have to say that title has to be shifted. I'm not saying that it cannot present itself, but it should not be the primary. It should be the added part of the life. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely understand that. Let's see. Let me go to the chat. And then Queen, do we have anything? Sis, we got anything in the chat?
I'm coming. Okay. Um,
Hey, Queen.
yes. So, hey y'all.
Hey.
Um, what's her name? Janice. She said, love the use of family in relation to Polly. And then Scorpio had a question. Can jealousy come off possessive?
Yes, jealousy can definitely come off possessive. But like I said, with any sign of the head of jealousy, you have to address it because that jealousy didn't materialize overnight. It started to manifest. It saw something or felt something. So when it manifests to when it gets to that level, it's definitely a virus that is going to cause raft within the home. So I'm sharing with anyone, we all feel jealousy, but you have to have a voice about your jealousy. If you want the ear of your family, you have to be able to say, you know what, I'm feeling you're getting more attention to my sister wife, and I'm feeling a little left out. You have to be able to be confident. Don't lose your confidence in a relationship. You still have a voice. You only make jealousy take you over when you don't say anything. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. Do we have anything else? And actually, we're going to go ahead and go to the audience check-in. So, everybody online, let's hear from everyone using one word. What makes you feel secure in a relationship? You can raise your hand and then Queen can call you one by one off camera, or you can put it in the chat and Queen will cover it.
Mhm.
Okay, they coming.
Okay, so we have Janice asked, is jealousy inherently wrong?
Inherently wrong? No,
Yes.
it's natural. It's natural. Now, what is wrong when it gets out of control?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Then
And
Amiko said, I totally agree, Singa. It should always be checked at the source. Put in a magnifying glass on yourself to find out where it's coming from.
Yeah,
yes, I
Lisa
agree.
said consistency.
I definitely
Stephanie
agree with that.
said, yeah, Lisa said consistency. Stephanie said reassurance. Amiko raised her hand to speak. So she wanted to speak.
Sure. Hey, Amiko.
Hey everybody. I don't want to take up too much time, but I just wanted to say that for me, what makes me feel secure is definitely open and transparent communication.
Mhm.
So just having that safe space to come and voice my opinions, voice my concerns to whoever it is in the relationship, be it the person that I have a personal relationship with, or even if I'm in a relationship or a poly relationship and the person that I'm with doesn't um, has another partner and I'm not in a relationship with them, but it's more platonic, I should still be able to have that safe space to come to them and voice my concerns with them, or even have a relationship, even if it's platonic, um, and then just be able to have that back and forth with them and not feel like if you come to them and say how you feel that you'll be judged or you'll be ignored or you'll be, shunned or like just any of the bad feelings, that it's a safe space to come and talk and be transparent before things get out of hand. That's all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Well
Miko. That
said.
was,
Very
yeah, that
well
was
said.
really well said.
So
Yeah.
Miko, I have a question for you. So you said you're not involved with the other partner, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so your poly dynamic is considered a V dynamic, is that correct?
Well, this is hypothetical, but yes, in that case, it would be where there's only two people that are involved.
Roger.
Yeah.
Okay. And thank you for sharing. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yes, that was
So we
good. Queen, do we
have,
have
it was, thank you, Amico. Yes, we have we have trust from Terrell. Morgan said reassurance. Latricia, willingness to grow together. Anywho, being able to safely be vulnerable. And
Mhm.
an iPhone said communication. Vixen said consideration, and her daddy transparency. Scorpio, communication and one-on-one reflection. Vixen, transparency. Someone else said just being transparent along with keeping the safe open. And Janice said, trust. If I trust you, I'm secure. Keep my trust. This is, oh, Yaya Sunshine. And that's all in the chat.
So,
Yeah, those are great
Sister
responses.
Mastery,
Yes.
amazing response. I applaud you all.
Really.
They were
Yeah.
amazing response. Yes. So I have a lot of confident S types in the house. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, there were some good ones. Transparency, definitely having a safe space when you do have the concerns that you'll be heard and not, you know,
Yeah.
be heard basically in a safe space. That's ultra important in in a healthy poly DS dynamic. That's like top concern because the opposite of that is someone is quiet and they don't speak up, and then that's not healthy because that breeds resentment. So we never want to do that, and we talk about that a lot in the S type chat. So we're going to go ahead and get into one of our scenarios. So let's look at a scenario. Two submissives are asked the same question. What makes you feel secure? One answers consistency, the other answers reassurance. Neither answer is wrong, but they are very different. So with those questions, well, personally for me, I would say a mixture. I need both. I need consistency, but a lot of times reassurance when certain things arise is much needed as well. Um, so of those two answers, I'm going to go back to the audience because we're going to include the audience a lot more in this call tonight with Ms. Singa. Which answer resonates with you? Consistency, reinsurance, and I know you all had some great responses in there. Can consistency exist without reassurance? Can reassurance exist without consistency? How do you communicate your security needs? Yeah. And Queen, can you go back to the chat? I see some
Yes,
popping up in there.
ma'am. Oh, yeah. Amigo said, yeah, I was going to say, can I have both?
Yeah,
Anywho, I will say both. Latricia, it has to be both. That's what we have so
definitely.
far.
Single, what you think about that?
I say both, but the definition for how I see it is consistency is very steady. It's very controlled. It's a platform of stableness. Reassurance, now that one could be a little unbalanced. For an example, it can every now and then it show its face of doubt, anxiety. It could be verbal or physical. Um, Going back to that jealousy thing, it may swing that pendulum. So I would say both, but I would definitely say about the S types that we have in this group. You guys seem like y'all can balance it pretty well. So I was very pleased with you guys' response. So you made that real easy to say it is both, but just be a little more aware of the reassurance part because it can be unstable from time to time.
We definitely can. And those questions, I do want to shout out the references that we use that came from Bowlby in 1988 and McCunser and Shaver in 2007. So that's our case study, one of the case studies for tonight. So, all right, let's keep this train moving, y'all. I hope everyone's enjoying the conversations. Definitely, anytime you have a question, we can go to it, drop it in the chat. So, deeper conversation. Let's go a little deeper. Can another person actually make us feel secure? Is emotional security something we build ourselves? Where does our personal responsibility begin? And lastly, when does reassurance become dependency?
Mm.
We have some in the chat from the last question.
Okay.
Stephanie says both, but I recently learned that instead of consistency, it should be more about Is it reliability?
Reliability. Reliability.
Mm-hmm.
Reliability. Okay. And accountability.
Mm-hmm. And
Yes.
Chance said, I need both, especially reassurance in the beginning of a dynamic, but consistency makes me feel stable and able to trust in you.
Yeah, say
And
that.
Anywho says, I will have an honest, open conversation and share my thoughts and feelings. Reassurance, meaning that I am being heard and we are able to discuss or come to a resolution if there was an issue or a problem. Donna said, I think we should definitely take part in building our emotional security with self, but I'm going to need him on point too.
Yes, I like that. Thank you, Donna. Donna or Donna. She just joined. I just sent her the link. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, she said I need peace in a safe space. Is that all in the chat, Queen?
Yes, ma'am. That's all in the chat.
All righty. I'm loving the answers, and then most of them are in the S-type chat. I'm so proud of y'all. So we're gonna yes, Tamika, I can repeat the question. So can another person actually make us feel secure? And is emotional security something we build ourselves? Where does personal responsibility begin? And when does reassurance become dependency? Those are the questions. And then Singa, and then if you want to think, Amiko, you can drop yours in the chat and then we'll get back to them if you want to respond. And let's go ahead and turn it back over to you, sis. So as a sex therapist practitioner, what's one thing you wish people understood about jealousy?
Oof. Don't give it power. But don't give it power because you generate that. When you generate that, you self doubt, you self beat up, you over process, you do all these things that robs you of your peace.
Yeah,
So I want you to work on removing jealousy and replace it with self peace.
definitely.
Yeah, that's what I want
Definitely.
people to know.
That is good. Alrighty. What's one piece of advice you give someone entering their first poly DS relationship?
Ooh, baby. Vet. I can't stress that enough. It's like a relationship in the vanilla life. You're taking on a partner with partners. You have to make sure that the chemistry, your personality match and meet the person that's being brought in. Let me break it down like this. If you already are in a relationship and you guys both decide to take on another family member, it is important that your personality and your character complements the character and the personality that's coming in. Because if there is jealousy, insecurity, it's a recipe for disaster. You need to make sure that you establish a conversation, a communication level with the person that's being brought in, not only for your mental sake, but your physical, because you will start to change your physical appearance in your own mind when someone else is being brought in as competition. So it takes a lot of self confidence and self esteem to bring another person into your relationship. It's easier. Well, you know what? Let me take that back. It's not easier. The male in the relationship, they're visual. We as women, we're very physical, and we have the tendency to over or under recognize ourselves when we're bringing another woman and even in our presence. And you have to establish that you have to make a connection with that person. you've accepted with your partner that we're going to bring someone in, but you need to make sure that all three of you enjoy the company of that person. Don't self-sacrifice. If the person you first vet into this dynamic, if you feel, hear what I say, if you feel that there's something about that personality or character that's going to cause conflict, you need to share that with your partner. That's that honesty and transparency, not because she may look more attractive, not may she may have a personality of conflict, because he's not going to see that. We as women, we have that intuition, but we cannot judge a person that we're getting to know. We have to allow that person to mix with us. So it's a full-time gig when you're taking on another partner, not a child, not a pet. You're taking on another partner, and it requires a lot. It does. It
Yeah.
only the strong survive in the poly life. I'm telling you what my mom said. You've got to have a good relationship with the person that you're bringing in. May you be physically involved with that person or not, you still have to have a sisterhood. You still have to share responsibilities. Yes.
Yes, that is very true. Oh, I thought I saw something in the chat. Queen, did something pop up in the chat? Or was that my
Oh,
phone
honey, there's a
glitching?
lot of stuff in the chat, boo.
All
Hold
right.
on.
We can go ahead to
Hold
the chat. I want to make sure everyone's heard because this is an interactive. We only had a few of these, so
on. Okay,
go
let
ahead.
me
We
let
can go
me
to the chat.
okay, let me scroll up. There's a lot in the chat. Okay, let's see.
Now these faces online. Hey y'all.
Okay.
I didn't have the faces on. Now I'm seeing the faces. Hey
Oh yeah. Okay, so
y'all.
Chance says emotional security must come from within first, and I have to be accountable to me first. Donna said, yes, good stuff. Stephanie said, I think it's a mutual effort to make each other feel emotionally secure. I think reassurance can become deficiency when it becomes a pacifier for problems and
Mm.
they get swept under the rug.
Mm.
Donna says, comparing yourself can definitely make you crazy. Latricia, Latricia says, if you are unable to make decisions at all without a form of reassurance, or you're only doing an action to get reassurance, then it's dependency and detrimental.
Mm.
Yeah, that's very true.
Anywho says reassurance is dependent when needed from every step, every moment, every time there is a shift. The trust developed should negate the need to feel validated and reassured constantly.
Mm.
Security starts with self and self awareness.
Yes.
Donna says definitely vet. Yes, I have been out of the loop with relationships for 8 years, long term or boyfriend. So I'm overwhelmed in this dating thing to the point like, never mind.
Aw.
Patricia says emotional security needs to be from and of self. Giving that responsibility to another is giving yourself too little trust and grace. And here's a question from Chance. How do you remove jealousy before anything even happens? How to prepare and any tips for it? Maybe not in a poly situation, but in a swinging situation.
Mm. Okay. Okay. So let's use a
Hey.
swing. Let's use a swinging example. Um, you got to remember, swinging is temporary.
Right.
Poly is longevity.
Yeah.
So you have to be in the mindset that this person, uh, we can talk. Let's talk. Treat it like a toy, something that's temporary that you play with and then you get rid of. I'm just being real about it because in the swinging life, that's pretty much what it is. It's
Yeah.
temporary. You just can't get rid of your partner and your sister wife and poly. In a sense, you're married. In a sense, you committed. You're loyal. It's a big difference. Swinging, let's just have fun and call it a day.
Right.
That's face value.
Amen.
Oh, what's up, Sir Knight?
Hey,
Yeah,
sir.
they ain't lying. How y'all doing?
Good to see you, sir.
Indeed, indeed.
Hello.
You know, I'm always listening in the background.
Did you want to add anything, sir?
Uh, well, yeah, I'll add something to that. So let's talk about it. That's a controversial topic. There's a thing out there called unicorns, and unicorns, they get upset when they're mentioned in that way as like someone you meet, play with, and you kind of do your own thing. Personally, I always thought that's what it was. But at my old age in this lifestyle, I'm still finding out stuff and learning stuff. And over the past year or so, I've come in contact with some unicorns that apparently they don't like to be viewed that way. I don't know if they want to be viewed as a long-term partner or whatnot, but in the swinging community, it's kind of what it is. You meet, you play, and if you become a play partner, then that's what it is. But you're not going to be an equal partner to someone that's actually in that relationship because you're a play partner. So you're not going to be held to the same. You're not going to be held to the same standards. You're not going to get the same things. It's just not going to be the same. So I would just say, kind of, for the unicorns out there that heard that and cringed a little bit, just take it with a grain of salt and just understand that in the swinging community, that's just kind of what it is. If you're going to swing, that's what it is. Now, if you're looking for a relationship, I don't know if that qualifies as swinging. You're looking for something more and deeper than just a physical connection. So, yeah, just let that sink in. Think about that. Let that marinate for a little bit. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir. Thank you. All righty. Let's go ahead and keep it
Thank
moving.
you.
Let's see. You're welcome. So what's let's go ahead and hit another question. What's one mistake you see people make that quietly damages security in a poly BS dynamic? What's one mistake you see people make that quietly damages security? Anybody can put in the chat, raise your hand, show your beautiful face on camera. Look, I'm looking, I'm scrolling now. I see y'all. Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna go back up a little bit.
May I?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Latricia. Go ahead.
I didn't want to interrupt you, Queen. The one, because it's not necessarily one thing, it's kind of a layered thing. It's the not speaking up because we don't want to upset our dominant. It's the not going to our sister wife coming into the situation and saying, hey, let's actually speak and do this. And a lot of it is seemingly forgetting that we're all there for our dominant. So I might not like you because today you have on a shirt that I don't like, or you made something for dinner that I don't like. But at the end of the day, we're all supposed to be there for the dominant. So at our grown big ages, we should be able to say, regardless of how I feel about you, nobody will ever know that, including you, because I have enough love and respect for my dominant that I'm going to swallow it and we're going to get together. Now, yes, if there's some straight disrespect, that has to be other conversations. But if it's just the day to days, the I don't like your hair, why do you like this? And those kinds of things where it's got to come down to who are you actually there for? And those that are actually there for the dominant are able to put that aside. And those that are only there for themselves are going to continuously make it a self thing. I'm not happy. This makes me uncomfortable. All instead of what can we do to help our dom?
Well
I
said.
love that. That is well said. Thank you. I love it.
And sis, may I add to that? She covered some
Sure.
very valid points,
She
but
did.
the similarities is it's just like having a real sister. Sometimes your sister wear your shirt and you don't give her permission to wear your shirt.
Yeah.
or she's got into your makeup and she didn't get your permission to wear makeup. So little things, there are little things that will small cause small irritation with anybody in the house.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the love for your dom and the love for the family, you have some things you just have to fight your battles wisely. Fight your battles wisely.
Yeah.
Because if you
Oh,
fight every day, you're
definitely.
gonna be miserable. So just, yeah, just fight your
It-
battles wisely.
So let me just add on.
And just pull your sister wife aside. Say, you know what, sis, it was one of them kind of days. I apologize. I said, but you have to do that. There's no perfect days. There's
Right,
some days
exactly.
where as women we have that tendency to have some irritation. It could be your period. It's just it could be menopause. It's just you have
Right.
sister moments. You really do. And but that's real life. That's not playing house. That's real life in the poly.
It is. Sir, you
Yeah.
were gonna say something? Thank you, sis.
Yeah, I just wanted to add on part of the draw and the allure to this lifestyle is that it's data driven, that it's not overly emotional. At least for me, part of the draw of it is that it's not overly emotional. You make an agreement, you honor that agreement. You get facts, you honor those facts. Um, you're able to take in information, make an accurate assessment, make a decision, come to a resolution, and stand on that. So overall, this is what we all should be able to do in these situations. So part of the getting over it for the sake of the family, getting over it and getting through it for the sake of the dynamic and for the mission and all of that, this is where that falls in. You have to be able to ultimately look past the emotional side. We're supposed to be working on the traumas and things in our lives anyway. So we're not we're not supposed to hold on to those things and use those things to drive our day-to-day relationships.
Right.
We're supposed to be working on these things. This is when the work
Exactly.
comes in.
Hmm.
So we're taking in information, we're making accurate assessments, we're talking to individuals, getting their perspective, and we're saying, okay, well, I may not see things the same way you did, but we're in this thing. So we're gonna row this boat and we all gonna row in the same direction. That's how this thing succeeds. But the reason why I just wanted to speak on that aspect of it, because a lot of times it's easy to overlook that this is a data driven thing that we're doing here. We draw out contracts, we make agreements, we say this is what I'm going to do, this is what you're going to do, and we stick to that.
Hmm.
So don't bog yourself down in the emotional aspect of it as you go through your dynamic. Allow yourself room to grow and evolve. Um, Also understand that we're all here for the same thing. We're here for the love. We're here for the family. Uh, we're here for compersion. And as long as we all getting that and we're all able to respect that in the dynamic and with others, then the mission continues. But we got to be able to adjust, you know? So, yeah, that's it. I just wanted to speak. I just
Thank
like to
you, Sir
talk.
Knight. Well said, sir.
Thank you. That was. Thank you, sir.
Everybody.
All right. Do we have anything else in the chat, Queen?
Yes, Latricia raised her hand really quick.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Latricia.
I I had a question for Sir Knight about what he was saying concerning the contracts. Do you view it the same way if the dynamic does not have actual written contracts?
So there's different types of contracts. You can have a written contract, you can have a verbal contract, an agreement
Okay.
that's made between you and your partner. Um, I was basically just using the contracts to say that it's an agreement that we come to.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, but
Understood.
but yeah, definitely written contracts. That's ironclad. You can't get past that. I'll take you.
Thank you.
And yes, so in the chat, I think, let's see. Yeah, all parties should be working for him. Okay, we read that. So Miko says, I think that last one is very deep, especially for me. That's something I've struggled with for a long time. Having reassurance turn into codependency. I think it definitely starts from within, building the independence and comfortability with being alone and knowing that you are good enough without someone else having to tell you. Where it turns
Mhm.
into you need to hear it from an outside source to believe it. You can assure yourself and have acceptance of self. That's really important.
Mhm.
And Stephanie asked the question, do you all think everyone within the poly dynamic should vet each other depending on the type of poly dynamic?
Yes, I would agree. You can never not do enough vetting because you have to realize you're entering a relationship. It's just like dating. Dating, people date, find a partner, want a long term partner, or get married. In the poly life, same similarities. Yes, they're in it for the long haul, but they have a dynamics of personalities. You have the head of household, and you have the two family members that is unified with the head of household. With that being said, you have to understand, I'm going to say this, and I hope no one take offense to it. Everyone has a role to play in that life. Everyone has a responsibility in that life. For an example, we both will be employed. Who, the person that likes to cook, you can cook. The person that cooked, then you got the person that needs to clean. Everyone has a responsibility. And when you're vetting like that, you have to vet with the heart of knowing that this is my partner. This is just not a person. This is person that I'm bringing into my home, into my life, and we're going to do this as a unity with the head of household. We both agree to be obedient in the head of household. I'm going to say this in the quote of my father. My father said, "You lovely ladies are under my protection. I am the head of household. I love you both, but with that love that you have for me, it would never be misused or disrespected." So I'm going to say yes, it's very important to vet wisely because that's your life you're setting partnership with. And take your time in vetting. There's no rush. Take your time.
Thank
And
you, Singa. That was great. You better preach, girl. That's what's going on in chat. Preach, Singa. You better talk. Yes, so many pearls of wisdom. Clap, clap, clap. Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to have to give that credit to the person that raised me. I my upbringing was phenomenal. My father set the standards of what a man in my life, may it be Dom, may it be in Polly, he made it very clear. Obedience you will be, but intelligent and beautiful you must be. So loyalty is everything to the head of the household.
Yeah, definitely. All righty, let's go ahead and get into our last question. So, everyone, what's one green flag every submissive should look for in a healthy dynamic?
Mhm.
And we talk about red and green flags. So, anybody in the insight chat, I'm going to chime in because y'all know better.
Transparency when you don't have to go digging for it.
Definitely, that's a big one.
Yes. That's
Tell
a
me what I
really
don't. Tell me what I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna scroll up while the others are coming in. That last question, I think, was about the unicorns, and someone said some unicorns are actually longevity. And someone said true. Then it was being sneaky, communication, keeping secrets, competition, overthinking, telling half truth, overthinking, assuming not having the needed conversations, more
Mhm.
spending time with each other separately, A plus B, B plus C, C plus A, etc. It can help the relationship to be stronger. Anywho said for the poly dynamics where the DOM's other partners prefer to be parallel, how do you navigate communication or building a friendship if they don't want any involvement with other subs? Can there still be a conflict in that type of dynamic?
Mhm.
That's a good question.
That's a real good one. That's a real good one.
All right, so I'll go ahead and chime in on this one too. Um, let's talk about parallel. The reason why we have different names for the different types of poly that we see is because each one is different. Parallel
Yes.
is someone that's in a parallel or looking for a parallel dynamic. They don't want to be involved with the other partners.
Mhm.
If you're vetting someone and you're looking for kitchen table and they say, well, I'm parallel, there's nothing more to talk about.
Exactly.
Right.
So you shouldn't be in a relationship with someone that's parallel if you're not.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm.
Comes down to vetting. It always comes down to the vetting. You got to ask these questions ahead of time. You shouldn't find yourself in a relationship with someone that wants something completely different than you did. Like, how did we get here? To where you don't
Exactly.
know what the hell we looking for. So I would just say take that. That's important. You got to do that early on. You need to vet. You need to ask those questions. There are different types of poly, so ask what type of poly identifies you. Do you identify with? What type of poly resonates with you best? Um,
Yes.
it's important to find out for this reason. Yeah.
Thank you, Sir Knight. Well said, sir.
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
Because the last time I checked, there's like 7 or 8 different types, and it's growing every day.
Right. I was
So
about to say it's growing every day. There's more
it's
and more
growing
coming
every
out
day.
all the time. You
It's
know, this
growing
thing
every
is real
day.
fluid.
So,
It's
Sir
real
Knight,
fluid. It's always
you know I'm 58. I'm like, ooh, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. What's this? What
moving
type of
with
poly is that?
Thank you guys. So in the chat, someone they said thank you, Singer. Love that. They said respective boundaries, communication, emotional maturity, emotional intelligence, consistency, loyalty, thinks of you before himself. I'm going to agree with them. Emotional intelligence and transparency, effective communication, actively learning one another, patience, and establishing trust before anything. Definitely consistency, authenticity. Gotta go, mom. Oh, Chance said she gotta go. She got mom soccer duty.
Bye,
And then
Chance.
real by Chance and Donna said realness is a must. Amiko said leadership not driven by punishment or fear tactics, but by honor and respect. That's a really good
Yes.
one.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Um, there was somebody said thank you, sir. Knight. That was Latricia. And Serenity said a green flag would be that the partners speak respectfully about current or former partners.
Mhm.
Amiko said good conflict resolution skills and communication skills, being able to express emotions with a calm tone. Anywho said thank you, Sir Knight. Scorpio said I think they meant a green flag, is when they're emotional aware, when one person isn't feeling included or feeling fulfilled with attention, and the head person is able to feel the room temperature.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
That's really
important.
Yeah,
good. Oh,
that's a
That
good
was
one.
really good.
That's a
that's
good one.
really good. Oh
Yeah,
yeah. And then
that's
Serenity
very
said
good.
they make space for repair.
Yeah,
Mm.
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay. Yes.
All righty. So, we're gonna go ahead and let's see. Does anyone else have any questions or any personal experiences to share? This is the open floor part. You can come off mic, put it in the chat. Anyone want to share their own experiences with poly?
Well, I had a question.
Sure.
I want to understand because everybody throws this out, but what do you mean by emotional intelligence or emotional maturity? Everybody talks about it, but it seems like nobody really knows what it is or what it really means. Because none of this is going to work if there isn't quote emotional maturity and intelligence. So, what are we saying when we say that?
I think of emotional intelligence just to be respectful and to think how you would feel if you speak to people a certain way, or, be open to receive things in a respectful way and vice versa. Being emotionally intelligent and being able to decipher uh, something that is just a general answer with no kind of connotation, negative connotation with it. Um, that's what I think of emotional intelligence, being able to separate fact from feelings and derive at that instead of putting your own spin on certain conversations and things like that. That's where I think.
Sister
So it's a mix.
Massey,
Yes.
I also would like to add to that when you say emotional intelligence, the maturity of it. You could be 50 and still be immature on how you process your your feelings to someone, if you to explain your feelings. So I want to
Definitely.
say when they say far as maturity is based on the communication of that individual. What level are you on an adult level where you can receive it and comprehend it well, or do I need to break it down to you in layman terms where it seems too big for you? So
Hmm.
it's not to disrespect, it's to pretty much bring it to the level of their understanding. Some people process as an adolescent, some people process as as a teenager, and then you have a grown person that receives it in a different way. It's like quoting something. You're going to receive it different. We can read the same, I'm just forgive me, but I'm gonna say we can read the same scripture. You're going to receive it one way. I'm going to receive it a different way based on our maturity and where we are in our lives on how we read it and what it meant to us when we read it. So I hope I
Exactly.
answered your question on a level of we can read the same thing, but it may say something different to you and it may say something different to me. So, and in the middle, you're going to have to communicate it to each other. So it's not a disrespect of using that term. I don't see it as a disrespect. I just, me personally, I like to use it to make sure that I'm communicating to you on a level you understand.
All right.
So I hope I explained that to you.
Yeah, there's a couple in the chat. I think Serenity just kind of put in there what I just said, and maybe a mixture of kittens.
Yes, so let me scroll up. Let's see. Let's see. Also, is empathy, emotionally aware, understanding someone else's feelings. That was Amiko. Serenity said emotional intelligence is having the skills to navigate difficult emotions without abandoning kindness, accountability, or respect.
Definitely.
London said, well
Mhm.
said. Scorpio said, treating others how you want to be treated, how you want to treat human, being able to resolve the situation accordingly. Montel said, being able to effectively communicate emotionally while respecting each other and not crossing boundaries. His kitten said, the ability to have empathy, communicate effectively, manage your own emotions, aid in with de-escalation, relieve stress. Serenity said, I would also say that it's staying curious, communicating honestly, and taking responsibility for what you bring into the room. And Morgan said, to me, emotional maturity, being able to identify your emotions and respond accordingly. If I'm angry, I shouldn't be lashing out. I should be able to have a conversation without disrespect. Emotional intelligence, reading the room and being able to identify when someone else is uncomfortable without forcing the other person to address them on your time. You better say that.
Yeah, that's true. I like that. Did we cover all of them?
Well said.
Yes, that's everything in the chat.
All righty. So since we're getting near the end of the call, I want to go ahead and wrap up and share a couple ways you can continue and learning support what we're building. For continued education and classes, please visit our academy, plug, daddy, www.triskelionsacademy.com. And also, if you enjoy following my journey outside of Tuesday Talks, I do have a business called Good Girls After Dark on Facebook, and Queen will go ahead and drop that in the chat. That is one of our family businesses. Appreciate your continued support and me growing the business. And we're going to go ahead and swing it over to Single for our closing thoughts.
So the question was based on security, jealousy, trust, in a poly dom submissive dynamic. This is who we are. We're family. If you choose the life of being in a poly family, it is an amazing experience, but it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of trust. Communication never stops. And if it stops, the relationship has failed. Growing up in poly was the best experience in my life, being diverse and not judging and seeing what back in the 60s and 70s is called free love and being a hippie. And that's the birth of today's poly. It came from an era where people had free love and hippies were free of just loving who they want to love with no judgment. And even in the BDSM community, we do the same thing. And I'm gonna have to say what Sir Knight says, you know, he says the unicorns. I'm gonna say the black unicorns, which is the most unique, and that's who we are. We're taking our place at the table in poly lifestyle, in BDSM lifestyle. The black unicorns, we unite and bring a diversity of love, respect, and longevity of supporting each other. That's what this group is about. That's what love is about. And poly's just a stem of that. So continue to love on each other and support each other. And if you do decide to do poly, make sure you vet well because your relationship depends on it. Yeah. Love you guys to life.
Thank you so much, sis. Thank you. And I want to give a shout out to Queen. Thank you so much for helping with the chat, sis. I appreciate your daily support with the S-Type chat. That's my beautiful admin, y'all. Give it up for Queen. And I'd like to go ahead and close out. Before we turn it over to my sir. Security isn't about never experiencing fear. It's about learning how to move through fear without losing yourself, which is very important in poly DS dynamics. Healthy relationships aren't built by avoiding difficult conversations, but you actually have to have them. Thank you for joining us this evening. And before I close out, I'd like to also thank my new co-host, my sis Singa. Thank you so much for everything you do and for sharing your personal expertise and your lived experience with our community insight. They love you. So I'm super excited to have you every Tuesday by my side. I'm excited about this new chapter of Triskelion Tuesday Talks. We're going to go ahead and bring you guys some amazing new topics to get conversation flowing. So definitely please share. Come back every Tuesday. We'll have something good next Tuesday. And I just want to tell you all, I really appreciate you all for being there. All my S-types, and I ain't saying mine, but y'all know my S-types that represent and hold me down every day. I appreciate y'all. I'm not feeling the best today, but I'll push through. So I thank you for all the kind words and support I got before coming on here. And now I'd like to turn it over to my wonderful sir. As the tradition goes, every Tuesday, we know y'all come for his famous dad jokes, but we put them at the end so we can send y'all off with the treat. So we're going to go ahead and turn it over to you, sir. The floor is yours.
I appreciate that. I know y'all tune in for my jokes. I'll be going to work the next day and telling my jokes like it's yours, but it's all right. I ain't mad. I don't need credit. Just for y'all, for the fellas that's on here that's thinking about poly, you need to understand just a few years ago, I had an all black beard. It is not all black no more. You can see.
He did.
I have hair at one point too. Just saying.
Now,
I want to have that.
Daddy, I bet you ain't had no hair. Now he's stressed with that one.
Nah, but for real, it's very rewarding. So if you're gonna do it, make sure that you're preparing yourself for it to be the very best you can be. Because when you step into this, um, the margin for error is really slim. You know, you can really do damage out here if you're not prepared and you're not brushed up on your leadership skills and all of those things. So, and you can get all those things at triskelionsacademy.com. Just saying, that's our school. But anyway, I got a joke for y'all. I know y'all was waiting for it, so here goes the joke. Y'all ready for it? Here it go. What do runners eat before a marathon? Nothing. They fast.
You know what?
That's
Fast.
cute. Now that was
You
a
know
good
what?
one.
I'm gonna give you that one. That was a good one. That was your
That was
That
a
was
best
good
one
one,
good.
right?
yet. I'm
That
gonna
was a
give
good
you that
one.
one. That one was good. I'm gonna give you that one. That was good.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate that, y'all. You know, I like making y'all laugh a little something. You know, it's a good energy exchange, so I appreciate that. Y'all laughing at my corny jokes. It's all good though. My kids love them. Anyway, so say forti horas una. Y'all got to understand forti horas una is Latin for stronger together. I say that because I truly believe it. Everything that we do for the community. We don't get paid off of this. This is just off the love, and we do this because there's a need for it. When I was coming up, we didn't have this. We didn't have we. You had to kind of mess stuff up and go in the wrong places and do all the wrong stuff to learn the right way. Well, we're trying to remove that and help people learn the right way the first time around. Although you're not going to get it perfect, you can try. That's what this whole thing is. We're trying to be the very best version of ourselves. So take these lessons that you learn, um, internalize them, understand that in this process, you're going to evolve. The way you start today is not necessarily the way you're going to finish tomorrow. But I do believe that as long as you're trying harder each and every day to be better, in the end, it's all worth it. When I get one message from one of y'all telling us about how good and how much they've learned from the group, the space, the chats, the Zooms we do, it makes all of this worth it. So I really appreciate it. We love it. If you did learn something, let us know. If you want to hear something or you want to talk about something, let us know. I hope everybody enjoyed this new format. We got a lot of things going on. Like we got a couple of new shows coming out. We're gonna be doing an Ask a Dom where we're gonna bring on different Doms and allow people to ask anonymous questions. Um, that's gonna be a lot of fun. I already got the first one lined up, so be ready for that. We also Serenity. I believe Serenity's on this call. Serenity and Sheba are going to be doing the show on Thursdays. Um, it's called the Truth Booth, where they're going to be interviewing individuals that are in the group that we find interesting. And we're going to ask them questions and we're going to allow y'all to ask them questions. This is how we build a community. I was having a conversation yesterday about what it looks like to decolonize BDSM. This is what it looks like: self sustainability, passing along information amongst ourselves. We're bringing in people that look like us to give this information. We're self sufficient. We have an ecosystem built here that's surrounded in entertainment, empowerment, and education. Thank you for taking part of this and being here every single day for us. Do appreciate it. Let's welcome Singer one more time to the family. She did a great job tonight, didn't she? She did a great job. Yeah. Singer,
Yes,
you
you
know,
did.
that's my girl. You know, she's been here. She's been helping us out for a long time now, and this is just the beginning. You know, it's getting better and better. You know, now she's a part of the house, so you already know it's we up, we all the way up. Thank you for all my admins and all the regulars that
Definitely.
come. We do appreciate all your help. Queen Bubbles, she did great tonight. Reading them chats, it's a lot of y'all talk a lot in that chat. She was on it, boy. She was on it.
They do.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Y'all did the thing tonight. Anyway, y'all have a good night. Thank you for spending your time with us this Tuesday afternoon, evening. I know y'all just got off work. Y'all ready to go to sleep. Oh, we got something else we working on with Bubbles as well. I ain't gonna drop it just yet, but I know y'all love Bubbles. So be on the lookout for some news surrounding Bubbles and some great things going on for the littles out there. Dropping little Easter eggs. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good night. Thanks for coming out and enjoying the evening with us. Forty horas una.